Hello, I am responding to the video presentation because I am surprised by the assumption. It assumes that those who are not with the same perspective are not smart, not using their brains, unintelligent, delusional, and believe in the imaginary. Speaking of imaginary, what do you think would have happened to our civilization if Thomas Edison, Nikola Tesla, the Wright brothers, Steve Jobs, or Bill Gates did not believe in their imagination? David Copperfield said that the power of the mind is limitless. Jesus said, what you believe will be done for you. Everything starts with imagination. So many things did not exist before, but they exist now before our very eyes because somebody imagined and believed in his imagination. Aristotle, one of our ancient philosophers, once said, "It is the teacher who asks question." I used to be a teacher. Now I am a student because I am the one answering the question. Question number 1. Why God won't heal amputees? If you see amputees around not being healed, it doesn't mean God won't heal. We will go back to this question in a bit. I promise. Because this question summarizes everything. But before that, let me ask you a simple question. Why do lizards grow back the limb? Question number 2. Why are there so many starving people in the world? Simple. God willed that plants should grow on earth as food, but man made a mess of agriculture, economics, and the lives of other men. Number 3. Why does God demand the death of so many people in the Bible? Rotten apple spoils the rest. It reminds me of a Chinese proverb saying, what you do always becomes natural to you. The practices that go with these Bible citations here were considered crime before. Now we accuse God as a murderer and call the practitioners our fellow human beings. Number 4. Why does the Bible contain so much unscientific nonsense? I see no nonsense in the Bible. The periodic table that we have now is just a complicated and detailed version of the earth and wind in the Bible. Isaac Newton once wrote that in every action there is an opposite but equal reaction. It looks to me like a tooth for a tooth, an eye for an eye, or what you sow shall you reap. The angels that hold back the four winds in Revelation looks like to me the force that gathers the protons together in the nucleus of the atoms. Those who know physics understand that protons repel each other. And you need an enormous force to gather them into a very tiny point at the center of the atom. You know how powerful that force is? E equals mc squared. If that force ever gave in, we're going to have a big bang. And that would be a disaster. Number 5. Why is God such a huge proponent of slavery in the Bible? God made man. Man made slaves. It's just that there are men who are not satisfied of ruling over the beasts and the plants. They want to rule over other men and make their lives a mess. Number 6. Why do bad things happen to good people? Do you happen to know the mind and heart of men? Number 7. Why didn't any miracles of Jesus leave behind any evidence? There's so many evidence around. We do not see it, or we refuse to see it. Someday, we will all relearn how to see them. This is not that day though. Number 8. How do we explain the fact that Jesus has never appeared to you? If he has not appeared to me, it doesn't mean that he has not appeared to other people. This is a very faulty generalization. I feel him because without him, we are dust. Number 9. Why would Jesus want you to eat his body and drink his blood? Oh, come on. I know you know better than this. You're joking. Eat and drink means acceptance. Full acceptance. Because if it is not full, you're gonna throw up. Blood and body means his spiritual presence in us and everywhere. Did he not say, I am the vine, you are the branches? The branches is the same The branches are the same as the broken bread that is being shared to us. Do you remember your guardian angel? That's it. Come, eat and drink. Number 10. Why do Christians get divorced at the same rate as non-Christians? It's just that those who gave in to the human will of divorce were Christians and non-Christians. Once again, not the will of God, but the will of man. The will of God is light, life, love, and freedom. The absence of God is darkness, death, hatred, and bondage, or slavery. But God is always present. Then why all the bad things in the world? There must be a very powerful force equal to God that is working against the power of God in this earth. And as we answer questions number 1 and number 2, it's very obvious. It is man who opposes God. God has gifted us with a power of the mind and emotion equal to His, because He does not want to live with puppets and robots. This may not be readily acceptable to many of us because we do not want to take the responsibility, and we have developed the habit of blaming everyone else except ourselves. Unfortunately, God is not spared. God has given us the freedom, the choice to use that power righteously. But we opted and we chose to oppose Him. The problem is, opposing Him has now become natural to us, and we are unable to figure out to reverse the situation. Reversing the situation is not impossible, but it is difficult because realigning our powers with the will of God has now become unnatural. It has become supernatural. That is why the crimes before are now beginning to be accepted as virtues. And we blame God for the consequences. We reject God by doubting, by fearing. As one American president once said, we have nothing to fear but fear itself. Because fear means you believe that He is not here. The prophet said, He shall be called Emmanuel, meaning God is with us. Now, yesterday, or ever. He was here. He was always present, even before His last incarnation on Christmas Day. He was here in the form of your guardian angel. But we refused. You know, when I showed my book titled, We Are Gods, to a friend, his reaction was, no, I'm not God. No, I said, we are. He said, no, we're not. I said, we are. He said, we're not. This is the way we reject God. We don't want to be His children. If you are not God's children, whose children are you anyway? Jesus taught us the Lord's Prayer, teaching us to call His Father our Father. That means we are brothers to Him, but we do not want to be brothers to Him. We refuse, we deny, even in this temple of the Holy Spirit. That is why this temple crumbles back to the ground, because the power of life is being opposed by the power of man. That is how simple our problem is. It is so simple that it is hard to explain. It is so self-evident that it is very hard to clarify or to point out. Just like the water in your body, we are 90% water, but we can already recognize water when we are thirsty. Now, going back to question number 1, why do lizards grow back the limb? Because they do not have the power to go against God, to oppose God. They just go with the healing presence of God.